every Thursday on News 9 at 9, we are going in depth with Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley. This week, we're talking about the department's new pursuit policy. Here's Lisa Monahan.
Time now for this week's chat with the chief. Joining me and every week is Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley. Thanks for being here again. Today we want to discuss police chases because it was about 1 month ago you implemented a more restrictive pursuit policy. It directed officers to terminate pursuits in certain situations. Can you tell us a little bit about those situations?
Sure. It had been a while since we had updated our pursuit procedures, and because of that, technology had changed and other things. And our previous policy or procedure always talked about risk versus reward, but we didn't really explain what that was. So now we want the officers looking at, are you in an active school zone? Are there construction zones, road conditions, pedestrian traffic, those kind of things, but also, too, what type of crime that they're looking at chasing. Is this a property crime? Do we know who the suspect is? Is it a more serious crime? And we don't want to eliminate chases altogether. Cities and states that have done that have now turned back against that because what they realize is people will just flee. And only the good people and the law-abiding citizens are going to pull over and stop for us. So we definitely don't want to do that, but we just want to provide our officers more tools and more resources. Another thing that we did, too, is we also beefed up our investigative side of this. So I want the folks that are out there thinking they can just run from the police and get away, that's not going to happen. Number one, we still are able to chase, but number two, we will find you. We have a lot more investigative capabilities now. Our vehicles have cameras in them that are going to allow us to identify these folks a lot better. And so just because you think you might have gotten away that day doesn't mean you're going to get away for the rest of the time. We're going to hunt you down and we're going to find those folks.
We were talking off camera before this. We saw a crash just days before you put out this new pursuit policy. Did that crash play into your decision to make any of these changes?
Actually, it didn't. We had been looking at this for quite some time, and what really prompted the initial look, we started looking at this about a year ago, and what prompted that initial look, it came about as officers all around the country were getting killed using stop sticks, throwing the stop sticks out in front of the pursuit and then getting run over, and that happened to Lieutenant Meyer right here in Oklahoma City. So we were looking at ways that we could more safely pursue, not only for the public in general, but for our officers. It's a very dangerous thing to be involved in these chases.
And so I guess the big question is it working? We pulled some numbers. I sent in some open records requests to get some numbers of the chases. I think in 2020 there were about 383 chases. In 2021, 336. And I guess right now we're at 2022. It's kind of tough to tell because we're still here, mid-year. But do you think that it's working and we're seeing less pursuits now?
I think it's working. I think it's giving the officers more tools to make better decisions. Also, it's just allowing us to keep the public safer. And again, we don't ever want somebody to run and just think they've gotten away with it. We want to make sure that we're investigating those. And I think officers, it helps them make that decision that they're not just letting someone go. They know we're going to investigate that. We're going to hunt this person down. We're going to track them and find them and hold them accountable for what they've done.
All right, very well. Thank you so much for answering our questions. We know you like to take questions from the community as well, so you can watch this segment again on our other chats on the News 9 streaming app and on our social media channels. Be sure to comment in that section there. Any question you have for the chief, and we'll be asking them next week. See you then.